Folks, how's it going? We're checking out the Thin Blue Line. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. All right, man. I don't know how my brain does this, but for some reason, this show was replaced out with another show that's newer than this that somebody just like mentioned to me before. And even though this has been on a poll for a while, I can't remember how long. I think it probably before Porridge or probably before that. I don't remember. I know it's been on for a little bit. And after I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this is the one with Rowan Atkinson in it. And for some reason, even though it's a newer show, I thought this was the one with Martin Freeman in it that somebody mentioned to me only a couple times. So when it was on the poll, I was like, oh, that Martin Freeman show is getting pretty pretty close to winning. I don't know why and how that happened. Even though it's been on the poll for like so long, you would think. I don't know. I do not know. Sometimes I feel like I lose my mind. so crazy. But either way, I'm really looking forward to checking this out, man. It has Rowan Atkinson in it, so I know I'm going to enjoy it. I've enjoyed everything I've seen with him in it so far. And as I said, it's been on a poll for a little bit. Given for, I don't know, just a tidge, I did forget that it was the Rowan Atkinson one. But, I mean, what you going to do? My brain is wonky sometimes. I don't know anything else about the show, just that Rowan Atkinson is in it. As I said, everything I've seen with him in it so far, I've enjoyed, so I know I'm going to enjoy this. I look forward to checking it out. Very short series, only 14 episodes, so we're going to blow right through this. It's only, 2.5 months, and we'll be done with it. I did that terribly. No, it's close. Yeah, 3.5 months. About 3.5 months. That's what it is. 14 episodes, 3.5 months. And yeah, before you know it, we'll be having another poll up. But yeah, man, let's just go ahead and jump into it. We'll talk about it more at the end.
That concludes Blue Line.
So that's 3 forces then.
2 forces, Constable Goody, as I've explained. The forces of order and of chaos.
Yes, and us in the middle, the police force.
Yes, I think we'd better pick this up.
Computers, sir. That's where it's all rocking, isn't it, eh?
That's right, Cray. In the shadowy, electronic alleyways of the internet.
The way to stop credit cards being stolen is for people to take care of their property. I'd like to meet the man who could get inside my trousers. What is more, my officers are far from being doo-doos, or indeed, dodos. They are, in fact, first-rate.
The window was broken after the villains gained entry.
What? That he robbed his own flat?
Exactly. Insurance claim, Maggie. It's a nice little note.
All the glass is on the inside, Kevin. Do you reckon that after he smashed it, he went outside, picked up all the bits, and brought them back in? Could you give us some idea of what's been taken and their value?
What's been taken? My self-respect, my peace of mind, my sense of well-being.
Photos smashed, clothes torn. They even did a whoopsie in his goldfish bowl. And there's nothing we can do. You can fish it out.
You've got to learn to walk away. Actually, tomorrow is the 10th anniversary of our relationship, and I'm going to surprise him with a special breakfast.
And scrambled egg, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me guess, he forgot the
You
anniversary.
are? I'm afraid it's a waffle.
Trash.
People worry too much about how food looks.
Well, I can never force much down in the morning anyway, except perhaps a cup of coffee.
Well, it's only instant.
Well, it was a very nice,
Gesture.
thought. I can't imagine what moved you to such a splendid gesture.
Can't you?
He forgot the anniversary.
No, I fear not, but I always remember the important things.
Based on the title, I guess it's the Queen's birthday.
Cutting edge of fannying about. What's wrong with a biro? That's
Not
what
that
I say.
version.
I've booted up and I've patched in. I'm online, offline.
The topic of the day, which is pickpocketing. Oh, by the way, I'll just leave the collecting tin for the Queen's birthday present here, shall I? About £3 apiece should cover it.
Excuse me, sir. I didn't quite catch that.
The collecting tin. Hey, bosses, she is a model employer. She does not attempt to kiss the secretaries at the Christmas party. She does not insist on having the best coffee mug or hogging all the chocolate hobnobs. She's had a pretty rotten time of it of late, and I thought it'd be a nice thing to show her that she's appreciated.
Personally, I think celebrating birthdays at work is a bad idea.
Well, I wasn't really thinking of taking Her Majesty for a curry.
What
What's your elephant impression, Frank?
Well, you pull your trousers pockets inside out, you see? And then you...
Oh no!
I haven't
He's
fact
like, I
already
wanna see
taken
that.
the liberty of purchasing her a gift. A small porcelain figurine of a young lad fishing.
I don't want to buy the Queen a present, sir. She's an antichrist.
Antichrist, hey.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, no, I mean anarchist. No. What's that word for someone who's out of date and doesn't matter anymore?
I think you mean an anachronism.
Yes, that's right. The Queen's an anachronism.
We're talking about the Queen.
Is the Queen scared of spiders?
Well, you wouldn't have thought so, but it's beginning to look that way.
Perhaps that's why she's scared to go outside.
They all
Can
mixed
you
up.
spare Habib a moment?
Yes, of course. Carry on.
Will you give it me after work?
They'll sound right.
Possibly, I don't know.
Don't spoil it. I only get one once a year and I want it to be a surprise.
Doesn't matter to the bloke who robbed me, and I don't matter to you.
Sir, please. We really are trying.
So, pickpocketing. Come on. The Artful Dodger was a thief. And I don't think he'd have considered himself quite so at home in a juvenile detention centre, which is where I'd have put him. Thieving is thieving. Now, let's see if any of you can pick my pocket.
You're not going to do the elephant impression.
Whipping it out.
I couldn't believe it. Making me fish my curly-whirly out of my trousers. Spicy
She finally
sausage and
clicking
chili.
it.
Constable Craig, this is a bleeding nick, not a
Queen
bleeding
birthday.
cafeteria.
Nothing for you then, sir?
No, nothing for me. Just a bit of cheesecake and a can of diet meat.
No, Maggie Habib's not a little girl. You can't win her with sweets. And if you want to impress a woman, you have to act like a man. Act like a man. That's right, sir. She won't take any notice of you unless you're firm. That's how I treated my wife. One day I said to her, if I feel like stopping out drinking, I will.
She took notice of that, did she?
She left his
I
butt.
don't know, I never saw her again.
I knew it.
Engaged again. If you want to read something, then read a book. For there is more that is true and relevant in one page of Scott or Thackeray than in every newspaper ever printed.
You read Biggles books! And you make slurping noises in your cocoa while you do it!
Yeah, it'll do. Good relationship with the money at work, man. You can get embarrassed.
Is that true, sir?
Perhaps the tiniest gurgle.
No, I mean, do you still read Biggles? That's what my little brother's reading at the moment.
Because even Biggles has much to tell us that is true. About loyalty, courage, honor.
Gay love.
Yes.
Hey, wait a
I
minute.
beg your pardon.
Well, of course, sir. Biggles and Ginger are lovers. It's absolutely obvious.
Biggles and Ginger are comrades, Constable Hubby.
This is easy.
Comrades in arms.
Exactly.
I am stunned, Constable Hubby.
They're grown men. They must have a sexual life, but neither of them ever mention women. They bunk together, breakfast together. Biggles is always squeezing himself into Ginger's...
Cockpit.
Stop. It's obvious. Two blokes sharing a flat. Sometimes it's months between cases. What do they get up to in the meantime?
This is anything but Bird and Ernie
They
from Sesame
chat.
Street.
They smoke their pipes.
Yeah, they do.
Poke the fire.
Look,
Is there anybody else against
if
this?
one's a woman and a lover, so what?
Because sex plays no part in these stories whatsoever, hetero or otherwise.
Well, me and my officers are on the brink of tracking down a bank raid gang, which is, I think, a bit more important than fannying about and speaking hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity or otherwise are there so that meaningful sentences can be formed. Start stringing words together willy-nilly, and it can lead to no end of confusion. Constable Gray, lend me your notebook. Look here. The criminal ran round my side and out the back at a colossal lick. Jumble up the words, and suddenly you have the criminal licked out my colossal round backside.
Is that so?
No.
Well, try these words in a different order. Bugger and off. I mean, off and bugger. Damn.
Remember what I said, Kevin? Act like a man. Be firm, be masterful.
So basically, just be myself.
Hey, you! Jaywalking is a crime. Get back on the pavement. Get back on the pavement. Hang on a minute. Pickpocket. Crime's a disease. Meet the cure.
That's my grandson. He's helping me carry my shopping.
Squash my plums, Gran.
Don't be silly, love. I didn't buy any plums.
That's what I'm talking about.
Keep out of my way for a while, okay? That's it. I'm just wasting my time. I'm going to leave the force.
I just had a call from the fire brigade. They're in the high street. A man is threatening suicide.
I reckon
I'm guessing
she
it's the guy
hates
whose
me.
house was broken into.
I reckon she thinks I'm a pranit.
Oh, yeah? How'd you work that out, then?
Well, it was something she said. She said, I hate you, Kevin. I think you're a pranit.
He just needs to
Excuse
be
me,
himself.
sir. Would you mind coming in off this ledge?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
Vice
care
must be
about me
boys.
now, do you? Nobody respects me, nobody cares about me, I'm a nothing. Jump!
All right, I will. That is a public pavement down there.
Oh, come on.
Others have to use that pavement, and they should not be required to circumnavigate your pureed person in order to do so.
May I speak to him, sir?
Oh, very well. I seem to have exhausted my powers of persuasion.
I decided to leave the police today. Because of you. And how we could do nothing to help. I can see now, it would just be running away. Just like you're running away now. The bloke who did your house over isn't going to make me run. And he shouldn't let him make you either. He took your video, but he can't take your spirit.
For God's sake, man, what are you waiting for? I've never heard anything so well put in my entire life. Run off that ledge this instant. I was extremely proud of you today, Constable Habib. It wasn't your fault the silly fool jumped.
No.
Inspector Fowler, you are under
God
arrest.
bless him.
I beg your pardon, Inspector Grimm.
A credit card
Yes,
belonging
sir,
to you has
yes,
been
sir.
used to hire a car which was subsequently deployed in a drug deal.
My credit cards were taken.
Is that so? Well, it hasn't been reported stolen, has it?
Well, this morning at the briefing,
And yet you still haven't reported it 8 hours later?
Well, I've been trying. They were engaged. And
How's it feel? You be a bit more careful in future.
Yes, thank you, Derek. I will.
Inspector Grimm, there's been another burglary.
Sergeant Hawkins, how often do I have to tell you I'm a detective inspector? I don't bother with burglaries.
All right. Constable Habib, Inspector Grimm's house has just been burgled.
Wonder if he'll lose his self-esteem and try and kill himself.
He will when he realises it was a hoax.
It was extremely wrong of you, Patricia. But he was probably going home anyway. Thank you.
Stuff it. The 10th anniversary of our relationship and you didn't get me anything.
Personally, I hate the way a man thinks. When he's acted like a complete brick, he can make it all right with a few chockies and a bottle of champagne.
Well, I'd love a man who bought me chockies and champagne.
Except the chocolates and champagne, which I asked you to get for me while I was out at the suicide attempt. Isn't that right, Goody?
You goof ass. You gotta play it off.
Well, hand them over then, laddie. I have to confess that I'm more than a little hurt that you could think I would forget our anniversary.
This fool wrote a note on there.
To darling Maggie, any chance of a bunk up, love Kevin.
Oh, bro. Oh, bless him.
Do you think we got away with it?
What is wrong with this dude? All right, man. That was good stuff. It's surprising that old boy jumped off the building. It's crazy it make that funny. Is it not your fault that he still jumped? I really thought she talked the dude off the ledge, man. As he said, like, that's a good speech, blah, 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 like, what he's still doing, man. Maybe that's what contributed to him jumping off. I don't know. That she got through to him, and then that snapped him back to, like, whatever, dude. Like, you just want me off this ledge. I'm going for it. Nobody cares about me type thing. I feel like she did a pretty decent job. What is just surprised deep? They made that funny. They did a good job making it funny. I don't know how. They just did a good. It was funny. Feel bad for old boy who's in love with what's her name, Habib. I don't know his name yet, but he's taking advice from guys who don't know what they're talking about. But when you don't have that enough self-esteem to just be yourself, it's just gonna happen because you're trying to be, I don't know, a version of them, and that just doesn't work. Especially because she knows who he is. She's been around him enough to know that that's just not him, and it's not a character for him. And he's just being bizarre. The whole chocolate and champagne, they're gonna drop their drawers, and then this guy yelling at his wife, and the wife already hit the dusty trail on him. I was like, I figured that she was gone. He's talking all this mess. She probably hit the dusty trail. That seems to be the case for a lot of people. The ones who dish out the most advice in regards to relationships, a lot of times they either have never been in a long-term relationship, or a relationship they're in is like falling apart. So I don't know. And a lot of it's just really bad advice. I get, like, you stand up for yourself and then set boundaries and whatever you want to say, but a lot of it's really just focused on that person. Like, what can that person's partner do for them? If they can't do these things for them, then there's my way to highway type thing. It's just really goofy. I don't know. And I think just because they say it with confidence, people listen to it. Whatever. It is what it is. Do what you're going to do. And I figured that there's something on that card on that bottle. When I was looking at the lung, I was like, oh, dude. Oh, he's screwed. He's screwed for sure. Because that tends to be the way it goes on sitcoms. I can't think of a specific situation. I'm trying to think of one, but I can't think of a specific sitcom or situation, but I've seen that before where either like somebody's a last minute thing and somebody grabs just a random gift, they steal something or they take it from under, say if it's a Christmas tree or whatever it is, and they end up giving their wife or fiance a gift, and it's like a man's gift or it's cologne or something like that, and they try to explain the way out of it, or they snatch some flowers and the flowers are clearly to another woman, things like that. So you figured it wasn't going to work out because it's a sitcom, but I wasn't quite sure. When old boy was stuttering through, I'm like, this might actually work out, and then I saw the car like, yeah, this is it. It's a sitcom. There's no way this is going to work out. The dude's screwed. When she called him, I forgot what name she called him. I think it was like some vegetable or something. And then he called her cabbage, or she called him a fruit or something, and he called her cabbage. I thought it was like a one-off thing, but he called her cabbage again. I was like, that's an actual pet name? As a person who likes cabbage, I don't think I use cabbage as a pet name. The Cabbage Patch Dolls, I guess, is cute, so maybe cabbage is cute. Makes sense because cabbage can stink, especially red cabbage. It smells terrible. And even green cabbage, when you boil it, if it just sits a little bit, it kind of stinks. As a person who likes cabbage. So I don't know, cabbage just seems like a bad pet name for your woman. Even though it's Cabbage Patch Dolls are cute, or it sounds like a cute name for a doll. I don't know. It just sounds kind of like a funky nickname. And the two detectives, here they're talking about like, you guys are antiquated. I thought he was just talking about like everyday cops were antiquated and detectives are a new thing. And I know here's like the cybercrime division at first, and the whole computer replacing cops type thing. In the elephant joke as well, I thought it might have been something sexual, but I wasn't sure if he was doing the whole sexual thing, because I've heard reference to like your junk being an elephant trunk, then also the whole helicopter thing. That's the two references I hear to like the just whipping your junk out and swinging it around. Is it elephant trunk or helicopter? When he pulled the pockets, I'm like, yeah, it is something sexual. And also he was describing the whole those characters. I forgot what the characters were called in the, oh my goodness, I forgot what the characters were called in the book. But when he was describing them poking the fire and all that stuff, like this. Oh boy, I don't know his name. One standing in the back to the left. Like, I was like, yeah, this sounds super sexual the way you're saying this, man. I love how he's looking around like, yeah. Like everybody else catching how sexual this sounds, man. That was fantastic. And people were saying about Bert and Ernie as well, about how they're like in a homosexual relationship. At least he's outraged for different reasons. That there should be no sexual intercourse needs to be placed into it, almost like how people are upset with like forced romantic interest that are put in movies because it feels almost shoehorned into the storyline. It feels like he's more frustrated at that there's just this forced sexual thing placed on the story that he doesn't want there. It doesn't even matter if it's homosexual, heterosexual, whatever. He just doesn't want a sexual thing wedged into an innocent story. And I've heard that before when it comes to, as I said, about any other stuff where they say they hate that forced romantic interest. So I've definitely heard that before. At least he's angry for that purpose, not because he's homophobic or anything. But people actually get upset about that type of stuff. It's like it ruins their whole month or year because that happens. They find out the character's gay or something. So, but yeah, man, I enjoyed this. So that is it. That is all for this one. Hopefully you guys are happy, safe, and healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Later.